Hello again, Dominic Trophy, and welcome to another video. And this one's going to be something video game related. It's going to be sort of another old tech review, and I've done a few of these, and I've quite enjoyed doing them. And this one is actually going to be about a Nintendo handheld that I actually played a lot on when I was a child, and even a teenager, and I still love playing it to this day. And this is actually the Nintendo DS. There. I know it looks a bit different if you've never seen this model. But, yeah, so anyway, the Nintendo DS was a handheld that Nintendo had back in 2004. And just looking at it, it was very different at the time. And the reason being is because most handhelds have always just had one screen. This has two. Which makes it look a little bit unusual, it really, really does. Now, that's the front of the unit. I'm just going to show you, the parts and stuff. So that's the front of the unit. It says Nintendo there. At the back of it, you've got the shoulder buttons. You've got a place for the stylus, which is this little rinky-dink thing. It's really, really tiny. It really, really is. People kind of make fun of the new 2DS XL one, but yeah. Actually, that is a good style, so that's the thing. You've got a little place for like a little wristband, if you want to put it there, like the ones on the Wii remotes. You know what I mean? You've got a place for the game card slot there, and you've got a place for the little power port as well. So as I just mentioned, the L and R triggers buttons there. Nothing on that side. On the bottom, you've got a little place for volume, to change the volume on it, a cartridge slot there, and a headphone jack. And on that side, you've got nothing, there. And at the back of it, it just says Nintendo DS and everything there. So yeah, that's the design of it. My first part is, it's very different looking, it really, really is. But it's quite nice, I think, the way it's styled and stuff. You've also got the power button there. You've got the D-pad, you've got the start and select, and you've got the A, B, X, Y. And the one thing I remember thinking about with the whole Nintendo Switch thing is the controller, the main controller, the Joy-Cons, they don't have the regular D-pad. And I remember thinking, I thought, the original DS has a strange D-pad like that, and you look at it, it's really, really different. It don't look like the regular D-pad that we, that we're used to. But it's quite a nice design. It looks funky looking, so it does. Very 2000s, but it's pretty nice about that, though, that's the thing. Now the thing about this handheld was the Nintendo DS actually had backwards compatibility for the Game Boy Advance. And I've got a game card here, a cartridge here, which is Mario Kart Super Circuit. And you just put it in the slot there, and that's how it goes. And then you've got a game card, so this is a DS game, and that's just where it goes. But yeah, and that's the thing about it. And I think the Game Boy Advance compatibility definitely enhanced a lot of people to move to the next gen with this at the time, because you could bring in Game Boy Advance games to the DS and play them on there, basically giving them a new lease of life, which was a good idea for Nintendo to do. Another thing that they did was they actually made another model about a year or two later with the Nintendo DS Lite. And I have shown, I've talked about this handheld before, it looks like the regular handheld that I think a lot of people would, look at, you know what I mean? And it just looks really, really nice, so it does. And I quite like that, I really, really do. It's just a really, really nice, nice design of it, you know what I mean? So on there you've got the logo, the regular Nintendo logo. I'm just trying to make sure that, you can see it, that's all. On the back of it, you've got the L and R triggers. You've got a little, part if you want to put like a strap on it or something. The power port if you want to put it in, charge. This actually changed from the original DS to this one. This actually changed, so it did. And you've got the game card slot. On that side, you've got nothing. On that side, at the back, you've got the volume, the headphone jack, and a second slot for the Game Boy Advance games. And On that side, you just got power switch, and you got a stylus port on there as well, which is pretty nice actually. I did a video about the Nintendo DS, and that story. If you've watched that, you know what I mean though. I actually did eventually get another DS Lite. I got one many months ago, and I thought I want to get another one because I like the DS Lite. So I got a black one, so I did, and I quite like the black. I think it's really nice and stuff. It was nice to go back and play the games on the DS Lite and stuff. It just feels really nice in the hands. I understand why a lot of people prefer the DS Lite. So yeah, I also want to talk about my experiences of growing up with the DS. Now, as I said before, the DS actually came out in 2004, but for the rest of the world, it actually came out in 2005. 2004 in Japan. And I was actually interested when Nintendo was releasing a new handheld. I was really excited. And I remember I was in game once with my mum, and I was actually 10 years old at the time. And they actually had a kiosk with this, with WarioWare Touched, which is a really fun game. I think one of the best games ever made for the DS. And I used to play so much, I played so much time on that game when I was at the kiosk and stuff, just literally playing the game and stuff. And I just found it different. Remember they actually didn't, sometimes they'd have a stylus and then sometimes they didn't. When they had a stylus, it would be on like a piece of string, so it would like a piece of plastic string and, just connected to it, and you could play it and stuff. And I just found it really unusual. I really did, but I found it intriguing. I was like, I can't wait to get one of these and stuff. And I think I waited for a while, so I did. And you'd always see a lot of children and even adults have the DS when it came out, and I was just so excited when it came out, because I was like, I want to get one. And I think I kept begging my family, saying, "Oh, can I have a DS, please? Can you get me a DS, please?" And they'd say, "Okay, we'll get you one. We'll get you one of these days." You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay. And I did eventually get one back in 2008 with the DS Lite, the grey one. And I've spoken about this. I said I did a video a while ago about how it broke and stuff, and that person that I knew broke it on me. But once I got it, I played a lot of stuff, because I actually found a copy of Mario Kart DS on the floor outside back in 2007. And once I got a DS, I was playing so much of that game. Just loved the heck out of it. I really did. And it was nice that I could also play my Game Boy Advance games on on the system, which was a good thing. So I didn't have to keep bringing my Game Boy Advance out. I could play them on my DS and stuff, and it's just a great handheld. And I think it's one of the best handhelds that Nintendo's ever made. It sold a lot of units. I think it sold like near PlayStation 2 numbers. I think it was like 152 or something million, which is insane. You know what I mean? That is crazy. But well done for Nintendo for making a really good handheld. And I think there's a lot of people out there that have played the Nintendo DS. They love the heck out of that system, and it was just a great system, for the time. Because it turned out that, and I never knew this until, looking back in the past, was that there was a lot of doom and gloom for the DS. It turned out that people were kind of skeptical about it with the whole two screens. Because when you look at it, especially in 2004, it looks different. It really does. And a lot of people, it turned out there was a lot of doom and gloom for it. But all that went away and it became really successful. So yeah, it's just interesting how products go and stuff. And obviously it does have its legacy, because the games are actually playable on a 3DS, because the 3DS is backwards compatible with those, as well as the new 3DS. Another thing is that DS games were actually re-released on the Wii U Virtual Console, and it's pretty cool to play those games on it. I know a lot of people are kind of mixed with the emulation on the Wii U, but it's still a nice feature and a nice bonus that Nintendo added, because there's actually a few digital DS games on the Wii U that are well worth playing, you know what I mean? But it's it's great to go back and play some great classics on the Nintendo DS. So yeah, the DS overall, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I may do another video on the DS, maybe about games that I played and stuff, which I may do that next week or whatever. So I just want to say, hope you enjoyed this video about my thoughts about the Nintendo DS. If you've got any thoughts about the DS, if you ever played it when you were younger, if you got into it a few years ago, I'd love to hear what your thoughts about that are. So I just want to say, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. Bye!